Hey viewers, welcome to the result match of weekly challenge number 3. I forgot the name. And this is your winner. Jess Without Pants playing Nocturne. He sent in a Nocturne and a Mumu game. Both were pretty good. But I decided to go with Nocturne because he's not really this standard jungler. But, well, there's basically at least two kinds of junglers. You have the junglers that are really good at killing stuff in the jungle, so on their own, and they're mostly tanks. So they're Nunu and the Mumu, and I guess Udyr. And then you have, champions like Nocturne or Lee Sin or Yi, I guess, who are really good at killing stuff. And well, in Nocturne's case, it is mainly the ganking part of that. But he's not really a good jungler. He's just really good at ganking, and that is why he is considered a good jungler, because he can actually go with the or go out and kill some stuff after he's done, after he has the double buff. So Nocturne not really good at killing the big things, so blue buff, red buff, but he is going to start at wolves here because he can take out wolves at level 1, and then from wolves he can go to the raids and the double golems, and then after he comes back with some additional items, he can actually kill the blue and or red buff. So the jungling gameplay, not really exciting to watch, of course, because, well, there's no interaction with your enemies. There's just, well, just jungle creeps. But it is good to see what is actually happening. Oh, let me put this up for you guys so you can actually see what kind of runes he has. So Nocturne is going to be more of a, well, a ganker, a really DPS champion, instead of the standard, tanky jungler. Because normally the junglers go for cloth armor and I think it's 5 health potions, pretty sure. And in this case we see Vampiric Scepter, and after going for this these 3 camps, he goes for cloth armor and 1 health potion, and that should be enough to help him get the blue buff. I will be fast forwarding a little bit because that's what the fast forward button is for, and as you can see, he can pretty easily take it out, especially with the smite. So now he's going to heal up a little bit on these wolves, then go for the raids once again. And yeah, since his smite still is a long way gone, he is going for a gank here, and this should be an easy gank, assuming that he can still reach. And no, they cannot. Yeah, that was really overextended, and they really should have backed off. But yeah, it was just lucky, I guess, or there is a ward here, but I'm not sure. But the enemy got really lucky that he actually backed up right at the correct moment, because one more basic attack and they would have been done. So anyway, going back to the jungle to pick up red buff here, and we are going to fast forward a little bit again. It is, by the way, best to do that in this bush, because then if the enemy jungler is coming to try to steal it from you, you can see him coming and you can well, either outsmite him or just attack him instead of the red buff. Same goes for blue buff. It is best to do that in the bush, even though blue buff is a lot harder to steal than red buff, because you have to go through the entire jungle to reach the other side, and well, you're cut off from your team basically then. So just showing his face once more in the lane. Not every gank or every invasion of a lane is about getting a kill. You can also just early game just show your dare and make them retreat a little bit, so that your teammates in that lane are going to have an easier time. So by now we see Riggel's Lantern, which means free wards, and if you place 6 free wards, then you can actually sell it with no gold lost. And we can see Akali actually coming in, and he is going to avoid the gank here. Well, not entirely avoid it, but he could see it coming because of his ward, and that's exactly why you ward. And he's not getting killed here, so that's a good thing. So as I said, basically free wards. You do pay a little for the item, of course, but if you want to sell it late game, you're not losing any money, because otherwise you would have had to buy wards and place the wards. And the wards are 75 each. So basically that is quite a lot of money if you do that over the entire game. But it is one of your duties as a jungler to keep warding and to keep the vision, especially in the top lane. As we can see here, placing a ward here, you can see the jungler coming in from here or from here, and you cannot see this lane, but there's nothing happening there normally anyway. So yeah, this is the correct place to ward if you're on the purple team. If you're on the blue team, it would not, because, well, if you're on the blue team, this would be the passage you want to go through. Yeah, this guy just totally overextended. It wasn't a very exciting kill, but still, sorry for missing that. But it's not about the kills in this case, it's about being a good jungler. So we see a ward here as well for the dragon. This ward is normally placed by the, what's it called, the support character in the bottom lane, while he goes back to jungle. But the support character in the bottom lane is basically responsible for warding dragon and or this spot, probably just this spot. If you ward here somewhere, you can see about halfway through the dragon, so with a little luck you can actually spot the enemies from doing dragon. Yeah, no chance there to get in there. So apparently just going for the top lane here. He is watching something else because we couldn't see the health bars. And going for red once more. Don't know why this line is here on the minimap. It's probably some bug in one of the two programs, so either the replay system or just the client. So getting another red buff here, which makes it easier to gank. It is the big benefit of being Nocturne in the jungle. You can keep all the red buffs because, well, you're a DPS carry, and you can carry the game pretty well on your own. So there's no real need to give it to your AD carry. Putting down another ward, and this is why I basically chose this game. He keeps using his Riggel's Lantern to place the wards in this same spot. Every time it times out, it is there once again. And you get a 3-minute ward every 3 minutes, so you can place it at one of the 2 spots that you basically need to see. So the support did put another ward here. They do not have dragon control at this moment, so they really need to take care of that, because dragon is a very high price target, and indeed another ward would solve that problem. So now he can see the enemies coming, if they actually are coming, because there's a ward on the bottom, there's a ward on the top, and there's no way they're coming from this path, because that's their own jungle. So the support's coming to help out here a little bit. It's very useful to have some additional healing when you're doing dragon. Using smite to finish off the dragon, because if for some reason someone is watching, then you really want to make sure that you're not getting, well, giving the last hit away. So very nicely done. By the way, thanks for all the submissions. I did get a lot of really good games, and I am going to cast some of them as separate games, because, well, they were just too good to just leave. It may take a while, because I have a lot of games still queued up. Well, not actually cast yet, but I want to do them somewhat in the order that they were sent to me. And especially one of the Amumu games was really good. So I guess you'll have to wait for that, but that's no problem. I guess you're enjoying most of the games that I send out, because they all get a pretty decent amount of views by now, and I really appreciate that, as always. It is of course very strange to me that I have about 800 subscribers, a little more, but my videos only get about 200 hits or 300 hits, well, in the first week or so, and yeah, I wonder why that is. Why do people subscribe to my channel and then never watch a game? I mean, if it was like, well, half of the viewers, then I could still see that, or 1/3 that didn't watch the games, I could see that. But, well, out of 800 and I think it's 20 something subscribers, only 300 watch my games. That's kind of a low percentage. So I'm just wondering, if you're watching this and you're one of those, why? I mean, why do you not watch the videos? Are they not what you're looking for? Are you looking for specific champions? I don't know. So nothing he could do here to save Soraka, so better to just sacrifice Soraka and get out alive than to run in like this guy does and getting killed. Don't know what he did there. I mean, why would you run in 1v4? You saw them coming, you saw that they were all there, and still you run it. So I will be discussing more on Nocturne in one of the future games, because I don't think I have a Nocturne game on my channel yet. But yeah, as I said, this is more about the being a good jungler than anything else. So he does have some he does have a ward still, and he has his Rigger's Lantern up, so he should be placing some wards by now. But top lane has been warded by somebody else, which is fine. Dragon is not up, and there is nobody in the bottom lane. Well, here there's someone, but there's no need to ward the river at this point. At this point in time. And yeah, by now we can see that Nocturne, well, he's doing a good job, but he has a lot of minion kills as well. And that is the great thing about being Nocturne in the jungle. You can keep up with the minion score pretty efficiently, although you have some trouble early game, I guess. But once you get to the point that you have some nice damage going, especially when you have a BF sword and Rigger's Lantern, then you're just going to kill all the minions so quickly that your time in the jungle is really short, and you can just you can just spend a lot of time on ganking or helping out lanes at least. So we see a ping going off here, and yeah, there's not a whole lot going on. Nocturne here. So Lee Sin took the red buff, which is fine, as long as he doesn't die with it. By the way, I'm not sure when this happened. If it's always been the case that if you die, you transfer your buff. Well, that has always been the case. But then, if you transfer your buff, the buff resets basically in time. So you get a fresh buff if you kill someone with the red buff or the blue buff. And I'm not sure if that was always the case, or they did that well, in a relatively recent patch. Because I know that when I started playing, which is quite a while back, it wasn't the case. So I'm not sure if that actually happened when they introduced Season 1 or something. But yeah, I know it wasn't always the case, but I just never noticed until, well, one of my last games. I actually didn't understand where all of the blue buffs were coming from, and then, well, all of a sudden I realized that it must be because, well, the buff resets. And indeed, one of my viewers commented on it, saying that the buff indeed resets when you get it. And I never noticed that because basically I never paid attention to it. It is also very hard to see because here you can see it, but if someone else has a buff, so this guy for example, you cannot see how long it will last. There's no timer on it. So blue buff almost timed out here, and yeah, that makes him a whole lot less efficient obviously. But oh, I wanted to say, if he can get that kill on Vladimir, he will get a new one. So cooldown reduction, yeah, very low at the moment. And that means that he basically can use all of his skills just once in each fight. While with cooldown reduction, you can actually use them more than once. So there's a little going on, a little bit of back and forth going on, I should say, in the mid lane. But they're not staying here, and that's the big difference with one of the last games we saw on, I forgot, it's an Ezreal game, where we saw the whole team staying mid all the time. And yeah, you immediately see the difference if, well, they just went only a little bit away from this lane, but yeah, there's a big difference in the two styles, because this way, for example, Nocturne now can get extra experience, and the enemy team is still at the turret. Whether you have 2 or 4 champions here, you can still push the lane pretty efficiently, and you can still keep the enemy back to their base or to their turrets. And yeah, I thought someone ran in there, but probably got out before we actually got vision of the river. So Nocturne, as I said, real good ganking champion because he has this fear, and of course he has faster movement speed. but especially the fear and the ultimate make him a really good ganker. And then of course he has a spell shield, which kinda lets him get away safely if he is being followed by someone, because it can block whatever they're trying to do to you, so whether it's a stun or slow or, well, whatever. So by now we see a second BF sword. The first one turned into a Bloodthirster, which shouldn't be too much trouble to charge up fully. And with additional lifesteal he can do even more damage because he can stay alive longer. I would of course like to see some kind of additional health or armor or magic resist, but so far he hasn't needed it. Doesn't mean you shouldn't get it, by the way. Just because you haven't needed it so far doesn't mean that it is a waste of money. But yeah, he's doing a good job of staying alive. And Nocturne is really not one of the simple characters to keep alive. Yeah, unfortunately, as I said, jungling is not really exciting to watch, but yeah, if someone comes in like this, then at least we get to see another kill. Yi popping his ultimate there, and he might still die. Yes, he does. Then Vladimir actually dies, and his Malzahar is going to get away. Even the ultimates from Azrael not good enough to finish that. So destroying a turret now, and by now it is 14-9, and yeah, he has made quite a difference by just being a very annoying jungler, because by showing himself in the lane and trying to draw out summoners, but also by just killing stuff, he has been doing a good job of keeping the enemy back and not letting them overextend. And by not letting them overextend, they got to farm up quite nicely. We will take a small look at the minions here. So 2 of them are over 100 and 3 of them are over 100, which basically means that you're ahead. Even though, well, Soraka of course has very low minions. Soraka always has very low minion count because she doesn't need it, and that doesn't mean that you should just add all of the minions together, because these kind of champions like Soraka, they really don't count. You should look at how much gold your carries have. Because if you have someone like Soraka who doesn't need a lot of gold, and she has, I think, 2 of the gold items, I'm not actually sure. Going for Dragon here once again. Yeah, she does have 2 of the gold items. And yeah, having 2 of the gold items actually provides quite a lot of additional gold. So you don't need to kill the minions because you're getting gold in a different way. And I'm not actually sure if the other item is gold as well. I'm sorry. Defense health. I think it's here. Yeah, it actually has a Philosopher's Stone in it. So she used to have 3 of the gold items. She just built one of them into or upgraded it to a nicer item. It does of course then lose its ability to produce gold, but that's well worth it. So going for the attack speed boots, obviously. Yeah, and this is going to turn into an Infinity Edge eventually. And well, we see on a lot of Nocturnes that they go for the Brutalizer as one of the first items. Is he actually able to get Dragon? A Baron? No, 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 no. No way. That was a huge amount of damage, by the way. So everyone has their ultimate up, so they should probably try to get into a fight at some point for Baron. Because that's when you fight for Baron. If you have all of your ultimates up and you are ahead, then why not try to lure them into a fight? Uh-oh, this is not good. And now the enemy can actually go for Baron, because I think they lost two. Yep, Lee Sin and Soraka both died. They do get to see the oh wow, Ezreal doing an incredible job there, destroying everything. And unfortunately, Nocturne not paying attention. He could have just helped her, and yeah, that would have been awesome. Oh, he didn't even get killed. Wow. Yeah, nice quadra kill with some help of the Baron, of course. And this ward is what made all of that possible, because without this ward they would have had no vision, and that is why you ward. That is why you keep getting vision over your prime objectives. And well, very nice of Lee Sin to buy some wards as well. And oh wait, no, we're not going to see a kill here. So it's 4 versus 4, and they should be able to do this. Premature pull from Vladimir. That means that he has no escape mechanism now. Maybe he has a flash up or something, but still. And they should be able to... oh, there it is once again. So they didn't actually use the fact that Vladimir used his pool, but then again they are really low by now. But they could have easily killed him, and he is so very hard to kill otherwise. Is this one of their team? Yes, it is. Yeah. He was probably waiting for the cooldown, but unfortunately didn't get it in time. So Soraka with double buff here should probably kill these minions and not just stand around. But maybe she... I don't know what level. She's level 13, so she should have some star call at least. And she could have killed all of these minions already. And since there's no turrets here, there's no problem if you push the lane a little bit. As long as you can get out safely. So Nocturne, once again going to the jungle, I guess. Placing a ward here. Once again. Is that 2 wards? Oh no. I don't know. Probably some kind of bug. As we see them a lot. It's also it seems that the wards, yeah, they changed it how it looks or something like that, because it looks really grey. It used to be greenish and a little more bright, but I guess they can do whatever they want. So yeah, not a whole lot going on at this moment. They are just pushing the middle lane, and that's about it. So Jax is doing Baron here, and they are going to help him. So putting another ward up here so they can see the enemy coming. and the enemy just stopping here. Probably a good idea for them to actually move. And now they're too late. So is Jax actually going to be able to catch up? Not getting the stun. But yeah, we didn't see the stun aura anyway. So they aren't going to get a kill, but oh, I'm sorry. They are going to get a kill and might be getting a second one, yeah. I was following the wrong group, of course. So now with this Baron buff they should be able to finish it. Because they only need to kill this inhibitor and then they get super minions. And before the buff has worn down, they should be able to kill the Nexus. And yeah, the minions are stuck here. So that's why they are waiting here. Yeah, for the rest, so the jungling part obviously is over, has been over for quite a while. But we saw some really nice ganks going off, we saw some good warding of the top lane, which is all you need to do as a jungler. Because that is why you're there, and the support should ward the bottom lane. And they are going to kill this turret now. So we're basically just rounding off this match just to get the feeling that we actually well, we actually have a complete match, which is always better than just some fragments of the match or just the first part. Because as you can see, good jungling can result in a pretty easy win. Because it's not just about the kills if you're a jungler, it's about yeah, the whole threatening to kill your opponents so they will actually stay back. And yeah, getting the last kill there, and now it's end of the Nexus. So I hope you enjoyed, congrats to the winner, and I'll see you next time. GG.